I just finished another book and it was by one of my favorite authors, so let's get into this review. As always, I will leave the book and my rating here for you guys, but I recently finished This Could Be Us by Kennedy Ryan, and it was hands down a 5-star read. As I mentioned, Kennedy Ryan has quickly become one of my favorite authors and definitely an auto buy for me. This is the second book that I read by her, and there's just something about her writing style, but also her stories that are just so relatable, super deep, and it really breaks your heart apart, but then puts it back together in the best way. This Could Be Us follows the story of Soledad, and her journey honestly is just super empowering. She was in a heartless marriage. She ends up divorcing her ex-husband, after finding out some really crazy things he was doing with work, and it ultimately throws her life and her children's lives upside down. Her husband ends up having to serve some time, which means she is now the stay-at-home mother who has to provide for her and her 3 daughters, and it is such a wild journey of her trying to figure out how to do that. What does it look like for a stay-at-home mom who now has to get back into something of a workforce, make all the ends meet, and make sure that her children are having some level of stability now that their life has literally been flipped upside down? Like I said, this book is super empowering because Soledad really takes on this journey and this challenge of really dating herself and finding her own purpose and her own self-worth. And of course, along the journey, she does end up falling into love with someone who honestly is just a dream to her. And I personally think they are the cutest fit together. The fact that her new boyfriend, who also has a lot to do with why her husband is in prison, but he is just meeting her exactly where she needs to be met. He's not pushing things, and their love story, while it is a little bit chaotic and hectic, ultimately is just so beautiful because she really has found the person that's meant to be for her. I fell in love with Soledad's story just because she is on this insane journey of self-love, self-care, and self-healing. And to me, that was just super empowering to see how she made a really, really sticky situation, turned it around, and created something beautiful for herself and her daughters. Miss Kennedy Ryan has absolutely done her thing with this book, and I highly recommend you read it. I cannot wait for the third Best Friends book to come out in the spring. It is focused on Hendrik's story, and I can't wait for that. But stay tuned because once it releases, I absolutely will be getting it and dropping a review on it as well.